Welcome in, guys. It's Tony with Urban Girl Scout Media, living the dream as always. And today I'm just going to talk about a handful of the cards I'm most excited about coming out of Kaldheim. These are the cards as we approach now, just about a week left until it's go time for this bad boy. These are the cards that on release day, will be trying to get my hands on for really just decks that I'm excited about. So I'm going to try not to kind of repeat on too many cards I might have talked about before. This is a big set, so there might be some overlap, but let's hope not. So up first, we got this guy here, Tyvar Kell. I love it, and I love that they made him a planeswalker that really only helps elves. I love that he gives elves the ability to create mana, but it's only black mana. I think this is going to be a banger. So just honorable mention starts off there. I think this is just a great card. Let's jump right into my list. So I did a Tumblr article on this card, this Burgee and Harnfell dual-sided card, and what I want to say is this is one of the most interesting utility cards for red. I mean, it does whatever you need it to do based on where you're at in the game, and I think that's pretty important right now when we're talking about getting the most value out of your cards from a gameplay standpoint. I don't want this to be my commander. That's just me personally. But it has an ability on both sides of this card that I think matters. And I just, this is one of the cards I'm truly excited about. Next, we got another card that I've talked about briefly before, Rally the Ranks. This is a card I wrote an article on. I think this is an important play design aspect here for Anthem cards in the mono white. I think this is just great. I mean, you get to choose your creature type. What more could you ask for? What more do you need? If they really want to get weird, they could, I don't know, increase it by 1 mana and add flash, something like that. I like it. Alright, so next is a card I haven't spoken about at all on Tumblr or on YouTube or TikTok, and that is Reflections of Littjara. So, you choose a creature type whenever you cast a spell of the chosen type, copy that spell, you get a token. Guys, you get a token. So for 5 mana, you can start investing and getting tokens right away. Now, your sliver decks should be playing this almost immediately. I mean, this should be plugged in immediately. To slivers, mono blue wizards, any creature type right now that has blue, or any tribal theme that has blue in it, this should probably be put into that deck. I think it's that powerful. And at 5 mana, it's not something that's going to draw so much attention to it early game or right away that I think it offers a lot of potential. Alright, so here we go. Next card. Varragoth, Bloodsky Sire. So, this card, little sneaky under the radar good, and even at the pre-release price that it's at, over $10 for sure, no matter where you look. So read the card carefully, because at 3 converted mana costs, you get a Death Touch 2/3 legendary creature, which is nothing, to scoff at in the first place, but then that boast ability is pretty real. And you can only activate it once a turn, but you also don't only have the ability to activate on your turn. Like, you can do it any turn you want. This card's going to be a banger. This card's going to definitely, in my opinion, be one of the most sought-after cards long-term from this set, in the EDH format at least, because that's no joke. And guys, if you're playing Historic, Pioneer, and Standard, make sure that you absolutely cannot find a way to use this, because there's not a lot of good tutor options in those formats, if any. This is a tutor option, and your opponent, you could easily, if you think about it like this, you could easily slow your opponent's attack down if they are worried that you're a card away from locking the game up, whatever you want to look at it. This could be an intimidation factor as much as anything. Also, it only has to attack. It doesn't have to connect with any kind of damage. It just has to be declared as an attacker or any creature for that matter. So you have a lot of options when it comes to that timing piece. Keep that in mind. Up next, yeah, that's a common one cast bird. Battlefield Raptor. And I thought this was an important card for a few reasons. One is it's a 1-drop, 1/2 flyer with first strike. So it's already functionally better than, say, Rustwing Falcon, which if you play Historic, man, you know that you'll see this, or Healer Hawk, you know, some of those 1-drop birds. That first strike, I think, really makes this just functionally better, and I wanted to make sure I pointed it out. So yeah, there's your comment. And then finally, Cosmos Elixir. So I watched the professor's video the other day where he was talking about some of the Kaldheim cards for EDH, and I'm not gonna lie, when I saw this card come out, I was a little iffy on it. But the more that I hear people talk about it, I've seen the professor, and there's a few other content creators, both on YouTube and TikTok, as well as plenty of fans on Facebook that they've talked about this card, and man, I think this is going to be a really good card. Like, I actually really think this is going to be a powerful card in EDH for sure. Like, I'm just trying to think of how many times or how many decks are out there that couldn't use this. I don't think there's any decks out there really that are built where they couldn't figure out a way to slate this in to replace a card draw mechanic or a life game ability that, you know, is only a one-time deal. This card is going to be really good in my opinion. I'm going to go ahead and say I think for like the 4th card on this list, but these were all bangers in my opinion. This is going to be a banger. Like I said, I was a coin flip at best on this card, just in terms of how excited I was, or if I was really going to pursue it. But after listening to, and I'll quote it, I'll cite it. The professor, he talked a little bit about it, and then that kind of gave me pause. I went and did a little more reading and research, and this card's going to be a really good supporting card in EDH. And I think that if you're like me and you're playing that casual with your friends style, I think that this is a card that you're going to look at and you're going to say, hey, you know, I can slot this in. I have one friend that he does a lot of life gain stuff. So this is likely going to make its way into his decks because it's not going to be a lot of situations where he's going to be playing so far from behind consistently that this won't help him. And even that 2 life you're gaining is nothing to overlook. So yeah, I mean, that's it, guys. There's other cards in this set that really intrigue me and really interest me. I think I wrote some really good articles. They're definitely some of my most popular ones on Tumblr about these cards that I'm excited about. Some of the other ones I didn't mention here today, but overall, this set, I think this is going to be one of the, I don't know how to say it without, like, I don't want to say powerful in terms of, because you also have to look at all the different formats, but I think that's going to be one of the best sets we will see in terms of power, in terms of impacting many, many formats, in terms of having some scary, powerful cards that shouldn't have been created. You guys know I'm not a huge fan of going down that pathway, but man, I'm a little scared about some of these cards that they put in here, and it's a little overwhelming when you think about. Just one thing to think about is there's 2 cards in this set. I'm looking at Esika when you flip her over, and In Search of Greatness. These are 2 cards that help you cheat in creatures. Magic has a nasty, nasty history of when you find ways to cheat in creatures or kind of break the rules of traditional Magic, it becomes an issue. So, like, that to me is a little scary that they put not 1 but 2 cards like that in a set. You know, Foreign Klex, I think he's got some potential. Yeah. It's going to be a fun set. Foretell, I'm still not certain yet. I wrote an article on Haunting Voyage. I thought that was probably my favorite Foretell card. I know Doomscar, which sounds like a ska band. that's a good card. I mean, that's a really good card. You could turn 3 board wipe. But I don't know if it's going to be like a 4 of and all this, because you only get one turn 3, right? So, but that's it, guys. I mean, that's really it. I do have at least 1 or 2 more articles that I'm going to post on Tumblr about some card reviews. I'll probably do another video because there's a few other cards that kind of stood out to me. I actually plan on recording at least 1 more video about these cards. But if you can't tell, this is definitely one of the first sets in a while that I've truly been just very excited for. I think this is going to be just one of the great sets of this era of Magic. It's going to be powerful. It's going to have the stuff that's a pain in the ass. It's going to have some weird, wonky cards that are going to flop, or they're going to kind of be sleepers that we just didn't predict correctly, and that's fine. But I look at this set and I just think to myself, man, they put a lot into this. So, what do you guys think? Remember, when you comment, when you interact on YouTube or TikTok with my content, you are automatically entered into a drawing each month to win free stuff. Don't hesitate to get in on that shit, guys. It means a lot that you guys even do that, but if I can give away free stuff, that's even cooler, right? So, thank you guys so much. Tony K, Urban Girl Scout Media, living the dream, and ready to get his winter jacket out and make a trip to Kaldheim.